Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla and I am a 5th year teacher in Indiana where I teach middle school art currently.
Don't stay awake for too long, don't go to bed, I'll make a cup of coffee for you.
So as you can tell from the title, I decided to do a video on 5 things that I wish I knew before becoming a teacher. I've seen some people do these videos. They normally do like 10 things, but I decided to do 5 and pick like the 5 most important things that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known this before I became a teacher. It's just stuff, you know, that colleges don't teach you. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm probably going to be looking down at my phone a little bit because I wrote down notes and stuff like that, so bear with me. Also I wanted to say that this is in no specific order. It's just like the top 5 things that I came up with. And also I have only been teaching for 5 years, so I am still a new teacher. I'm a rookie. I don't know everything at all, but I'm just sharing with you right now in this moment the 5 things that I wish that I knew coming this far. And then also like 10 years from down the road, if I do this video again, it'll probably completely change. But this is just right now the 5 things that I have learned that I wish I would have known. Okay, so number 1 is super hard, I feel like, especially for newer teachers, and it is to not make teaching your whole entire life. And trust me, I've been there, I have done that. I think all of us have been in that position, and some of us probably still are in that position, and that's okay if you are. But in my experience, my first couple of years when I just like made teaching my life, I didn't care about anything else. I didn't worry about anything else. It was just strictly like teaching. And I would go in on the weekends. I would stay super late. I would stay until like 6, 7, 8 p.m. And then, like I said, I would go in on the weekends as well. And so I very easily got burnt out. And so that is something that I wish I would have known, is to not do that, because when you get burnt out as a teacher, it is not healthy for yourself and it is not healthy for your students as well, because you generally don't really want to be there and your students can see that all over your face. So that is a huge one for me, is to not eat, breathe, sleep teaching, which that's hard because I know our job never ends, and that's one that I'll get to later as well. But just take time for yourself and just don't get burnt out, basically, because it's not good for you or your students. Okay, number 2, which I kind of just talked about. It's kind of cliche, but it's so true. And it is, your job never ends. So with that being said, I feel like a lot of jobs never end. So like I said, I feel kind of cliche saying that, but like it literally never ends. Like you stay after and you're like, you have this huge to-do list and you get it all done and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go now. But you still have 50 other things on your to-do list. So I just feel like there is never a moment that you leave your classroom saying, I have done every single thing that is on my to-do list that I need to get done. Like, never. And yeah, that's just, your job never ends. With that being said, like I felt like I was like bringing home stuff to do a lot, and then I would never even touch it. So it was just kind of pointless for me to bring it home. I just always think like leave work at work unless there's something that you really have to get done. But it literally never ends. And then even when you get your huge long to-do list done, you're still at home thinking about your students as well. So like literally your job never ever ends. And that's just something that not a lot of jobs can say. I mean, some can, but not a ton can say that they feel like their job like is just never ending and you never feel like you got everything done that you wanted to get done. Number 3 would be to be flexible. So this is one that's kind of hard for me because I like to stick to a plan, and I learned early on as a teacher that that is just, it's not the case. You're gonna have to be flexible. You're gonna have to make changes during a lesson, right before a lesson, and even after a lesson you may have to make some changes. So myself and a lot of teachers, I would say, are perfectionists, and so just like with being flexible, you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be lessons that turn out awful and you would have wished that you've never done it. But with that being said, just be flexible, change things. If you're in the middle of a lesson and you have technology and the technology is not working, be flexible and be able to have like a backup plan. Like there's just so many things that as a teacher you have to be flexible with, and I learned that my very first year because like I said, I was very like, oh, we have to do this, 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 and this, but I learned like it's never going to go the way that you have planned, and just be flexible. The next one I have is that you do not have to volunteer for everything. You're allowed to say no. So for me, I just feel like if something needs done around the school or if they need a volunteer for something, I would always feel like it had to be me, or like I had to do it because I didn't want to let anyone down. But I found by doing that, you kind of put too much on your plate and then you become stressed out, which again is not healthy for yourself or even for your students. So just know that it is okay to say no, and you don't have to volunteer for every single thing that is thrown at your school's way. It's great to volunteer when you can, but if you genuinely can't make the time for it, then don't overdo it. And I wish I would have known that, because I felt like I put a lot on my plate my first couple of years just by wanting to do everything that I could because I wanted people to think that I was a good teacher and stuff like that. But volunteering for stuff doesn't necessarily make you a good teacher. And the last one, and probably one of the most important ones, is don't compare yourself to other teachers. So with this being said, I feel like I would always look at what other teachers are doing in my building, or also even on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm not doing that. And it is just not healthy to compare yourself to others, because you're going to think that what you're doing is not enough, and your best isn't somebody else's best. So just know that your best is enough. And I feel like I took a lot of time my first couple of years comparing myself to not teachers in my building necessarily, but teachers on Instagram. And I would always think that I was just like the worst teacher ever. But I was still doing fun activities. They may not have been to the extent of some other teachers on Instagram, but I was doing my best, and that is enough. So I would definitely say just don't compare yourself to others. Instagram is a great place to get ideas, but it's also a great place for you to kind of get down on yourself if you see all of these fun activities. So just don't compare yourself and know that you are doing your best. Okay, so I also wanted to say before I get off of here that if you guys have like any video requests that you want to see from me, it can be literally anything. I have a couple on my to-do list right now that some of you guys have told me that you wanted to see from me. So if you guys just have any requests, please let me know. I kind of had like a little heart-to-heart with myself the last week and just thought like I really want to start putting content up that is helpful. And while I love vlogs, they're my favorite things to film ever, I sometimes feel like they're not the most helpful, if that makes sense. So I'm still going to be vlogging. Obviously I love it and I don't want to stop doing that, but I also want to be putting content up that is going to be more helpful for new teachers and just college students and things like that. So if you have any requests at all, please let me know. I would be happy to do them. And I'm kind of just trying to like revamp my channel a little bit and kind of make it more aesthetically pleasing and things like that. So just let me know what kind of new content you want to see from me, or just something helpful that you want to see from me, and I will make sure to put it on my to-do list. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Go ahead, I'll get you up and going out of bed.
Yeah, I don't wanna fall